Maybe.
It is. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first ever Sleep When I'm Dead book discussion for 2025. I have my friends Jules and Angie here. Thank you so much for, being my co-host, but also everyone else who participated, read the book, who's here tonight. Before we get started, let's just do some introductions. Jules, since you're on the top to my right, we'll start with you, and then Angie, you can go second.
Okay. Hey, everyone. My name is Jules. My channel is Jules Books and Things. Read a variety of genres, mostly thrillers, cozy mysteries, a lot of YA, middle grade stuff, but just kind of a little bit of everything.
Nice.
And I'm Angie, and my channel is Book Mama, and I also read a wide variety. I feel like I've been in a very fantasy heavy mood. I don't know if it's just like Onyx Storm or anything, but I also love thrillers are great, like palate cleansers for me. And I also read a little sci-fi, a little romance. So kind of all things. So I'm really excited to be here. So thanks, Jessie, for inviting me.
Of course. I'm excited to add more people. So, piece of fuzz. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Jessie. This is my book club. It's called Sleep When I'm Dead. We read new release thrillers. So, yeah, welcome to the book discussion. If you haven't already, leave your star rating in the chat. We will actually be saving our 3-star ratings at the very end. We are going to basically not hold back when it comes to any spoilers. I do think like the first few questions are pretty much spoiler free, but if you have not read the book yet, which we are reading Till Death Do Us Part, my book copy is right here in case anyone is just tuning in. But this is the book that we read for the month of January, which I'm very excited about to finally discuss about this. But yeah, you've been warned, spoilers ahead. Angie, would you like to give us a short synopsis about what this book was about?
I would be happy to. Okay, so Till Death Do Us Part by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. It's about our main character of June. Like, at least it opens up with June. It's kind of dual POV, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. And June is recently engaged and happily engaged, but she has some like trauma from her past, from her first marriage, which was very short, but her first husband accidentally drowned. And she had some questions about it, but now like it's 10 years later and she's trying to move on with her life, but she sees him, or she thinks she sees him. And it kind of starts her down this path of panicky, freaking out, and also like trying to search out answers through his family. So she goes to Napa, and we also enjoy a lot of wine references in this book. So that's the general gist. Anything to add?
No, I think that was pretty much it. So thanks for sharing that. I'm going to share some of the comments if my computer will cooperate. So yeah, let us know what everyone rated, and then we will jump into the discussion questions. Hello, Danny. Can't wait to hear everyone's thoughts. Faith is here. Can't wait. Where's Faith's comment? I clicked on it. There it is. Can't wait to hear what everyone has to say about this one.
It's like delayed on it. Are you seeing that? It's like I think what you see and what we see is like different. It's weird.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
You go, girl.
My computer is driving me crazy. Okay. I'm so excited to join for the first time. Oh, well, thank you so much. Amy says, looking forward to finally catching a discussion. Nice. Brandon is here, which we'll talk about Brandon at the end of the discussion.
Brandon, you're in for it.
This is my son.
That's funny.
Excited for the discussion. I read this at the very beginning of January, so I might need a refresher. No worries. We got you covered. Jenna's here. Hello. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Oh, we are on the struggle bus. If you think this is bad, you should have seen me when I was recording with the author, because even that was bad. Hey, Jordan, your comment disappeared, though. Okay. I think I'm just going to read the comments and not post them up on the screen. I think that's just going to be the easiest way. So, Maggie, hello. Love seeing your new faces. Danny gave it 3 stars. Gwen made it and also gave it 3 stars. So did Faith. Cam Man gave it 3.5. Brandon gave it 3. Helen gave it 4. 3 of my favorite people reading a book that's so mid. Laugh out loud. That is a laugh out loud moment.
Yeah.
Jordan gave it 2 stars with my favorite emoji. Sherry gave it 4. Jen gave it 4 stars. Started a little slow, but picked it up for me in part 3. Ain't nothing mid about our lovely host. Oh, bless your heart. Jules wins for matching the book cover the most. That's funny.
That was not
I thought I was going to love this book. Gave it 1.5. Wow. I hate to see it, but I love to see it too. Maggie gave it 2. Hello, Skeleton Key. What did I do? It's what you haven't done yet because Brandon is the host for next month. So I just started and kind of struggling with the writing. I get that. 2.5 from Devin. Lena did not read the book, but she's here for the tea or the wine. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done. Brandon trying to get the brownie points. Doing the most out here. What can I say? Love that. Okay, perfect. Okay.
That's really my job, Brandon. Doing the most. That's my job.
Doing the most. That's what Jules is always doing the most.
We're challenging each other.
Okay. My first question is, have you read anything else by the author? No. Sames. Me too. I have heard of the other one that she wrote, which was The Girls Are All Nice Here, but I have not picked it up. So
yeah, I got to looking at her books, but the covers, they all have people on them. That drives me. That's one of my
really.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like real people on covers is like a turn off on. I don't know. I just will not. I don't like to pick up books that have real people on them. I have no idea why.
That's funny.
Ooh, hot take.
Not that I never will, but it's not.
That's how you feel, Julie.
Yeah, like if I see a book and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. Then I may not even read the synopsis because I'm just like the book covers ugly, or whatever. That's not bad.
I do feel about that. Like, there's a romance series. I ended up DNFing it, but it's Flawless by Elsie Silver. The original cover with the people, and they're like ew, disgusting.
So dramatic.
Yeah, so dramatic. But you just give me a pink cover with like a little cowboy bow tie.
Yeah,
golden.
Gotta pick it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, everyone else, let me know in the comments of any of the questions you have. This is also my first time reading it, but I am interested in picking up, more by this author. Let's see. I tried to read The Girls Are All Nice Here, but I DNF'd real early. Interesting. Amy said she loved it, so that's good. Let's see. I can totally see that, Jules. I'm kind of the same way. Nice. Okay. Oh, Laura's late. No worries. We just started, but she gave it 2 stars. Okay. How would you describe this book only using 3 words? Whoever wants to go first.
Who wants to go? You want me to go?
Go ahead, Jules.
Okay. Messy.
Okay.
Secrets. And dwelling. Because all these people are dwelling over things in the past.
I like that.
No, that's good. That's good.
I put motherhood. I feel like motherhood was the biggest one for me, probably.
Yeah.
Wine and tension. I felt like it had a lot of like foreshadowing and tension built in.
Yeah.
For sure.
The 3 words that I used was family, repetitive, and a slow burn. So, but I feel like those are all good words. Everyone else, definitely let me know what your 3 words are, because I do want to kind of like make something with our words. So don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Throw them out there.
Gwen is who killed her, which is a great question that we will get to at the end.
Yeah.
Redonky wine lies. I love that.
That's hilarious. Redonk.
Oh my
Redonk.
gosh.
That's funny.
Okay. So this book is not only does it have like a mystery thriller plot, but it also has wine part of the plot. So as a fun question, do you drink wine? And if so, what kind of wine do you prefer?
I used to drink wine. I haven't really too much lately, but we did like, because it's set in Napa, which I love because we went and did all the Napa thing. Like we got engaged in Napa, my husband and I, and like did the whole wine tours. And so like I liked the setting because I could visualize it really well in my head. And I used to drink wine. I just don't anymore. So.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well,
I occasionally will drink wine, not very much. I have found that as I've gotten older, it gives me headaches, and I don't know why. But I did read something that like there's something that as you do get older, like there's something that's in wine. I can't remember what it was exactly. Yeah, I think it was like a antihistamine type thing in it or something. I don't know. It was a thing. It was a real thing because I was like, why am I always getting headaches when I drink wine? So I don't pick up much. If I do, it's like one glass and that's it. But so I'll do like if it's I like a sweeter white wine. So either like a Moscato or Riesling, I'll go toward those. I do not like dry wines at all. And then if it's a red, I prefer like a sangria. So.
Okay. Yeah. I do like wine. However, I feel like it's one of those. I have to be like in a social setting who are also drinking wine. You know what I mean? Because like it's not my first choice. Yeah, like a girls' night or going to like a winery tasting. But like just like on like casual Monday night, no, not really. Right. But I don't know. There's something about wine that I do like. I feel like I'm just not there yet. But I do like a sweeter red or a drier white. So I used to be like a Moscato type of person, but they're too sweet. So
they're very sweet. Yeah. I've got more on the Riesling side than Moscato side because Moscato is very sweet. Oh, yeah. Riesling, depending on what Riesling you get, could be not as sweet, but
yeah. I will say there is a winery like about 45 minutes away from me, and they have like really weird wines. Like they have a chili dog wine.
What?
Yes. It's like more of a cooking wine, but it's actually really good. But they squirt like canned cheese whiz on your hand as like an aftertaste. It's actually really good. It is really good.
Okay, that's interesting.
Gross.
Gross. They have a Mountain Dew wine, which I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. Yeah. Let's see. Devin said her 3 words are boring, boring, boring. No worries. And he says, I hardly drink wine. I drink more. I should drink more. I do enjoy it. I don't really have a favorite. Faith loves wine, loves red, dry ones like Pinot. Gosh, sorry. I'm like really struggling today. Okay. Yeah. Well, like it like scrolled up and then it kept going down. So I couldn't like catch up with it.
It's like glitchy maybe or something.
Yeah. Laura says, I love wine. I wouldn't have been a DNF if not for all the wine tastings and wine settings. I'm glad we could keep you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Jen is a wine girl, prefers white wines. I'm not picky though. Same. I will try anything, but if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. So I used to, but the arthritis meds. I was even a bartender at a wine bar in Wisconsin. I'm a Pinot Grigio for white. And I've never heard of that one for a red. So I'm going to have to look that up.
Never heard of that.
I drink wine occasionally. More of a margarita girl. Yes, I will say I am a margarita girl. So
I like them, but I can't drink those either.
Really? Oh, give me all the tequila.
Yeah, I'm just old now. I apparently can't drink anymore.
Brandon said, where did it go? Oh my gosh. Okay. He said slow burn, suspense, and grief. I love the grief one because that's definitely in there. Let's see. Google says red wine contains high levels of whatever that is compounds, which can contribute to headaches. Interesting. Haunted Lies Motherhood. Love that. I drink wine maybe once every couple of months. Usually go to a Moscato. Keep it pretty simple. I love that. Favorite is the Malbec wine. Yeah, Lena, we know you love wines. Different things in the aging process that can affect on headaches, but other countries don't have that. So in Europe, wine won't give you headaches most of the time. Interesting.
Nice. Is it the whole natural wine thing I was learning in this book? You know?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best source of knowledge in this book, but
true.
I think she did do a lot of research.
Yeah.
She said that was her favorite part too.
Yeah.
Cheese was chaser. Lena likes wine. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay. So I personally hybrid read this book, both with the ebook, even though I had the physical book, but with the ebook and the audio. How did you read this book? And would you say this was something you could easily put down or you could not put down?
I did both. I did audio and physical.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like for the first half of it, I could have just take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I got to stay up and read this. After part 3 though, like I was like getting like I wanted to figure everything out. I wanted to, so I didn't want to put it down then. So it was kind of like half and half for me.
Yeah.
Same for me. I did audio and physical.
Oh, nice.
And it felt like, for me, I feel like the initial chunk when like I felt like she had this like suspense and all this foreshadowing, and then it kind of like slumped a bit in the middle, and then it picked it back up for me. So I wouldn't say unputdownable by any means. That's not this style of book.
Yeah.
But putdownable.
True. Yvette, I was hoping to see you, even though you DNF the book, you're here for spoilers, but I know you like wine, so I'm glad to see that you're here. I just marked on my chin. I definitely don't think this is one that I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot put this down. But because I did both the ebook and the audiobook, there was a lot of times where I was just listening to it. So I could like easily follow along without having to put it down. But I would not say this is one that you're going to read in one sitting personally. So let's see. Gwen says she's jetting off to Europe. Love that. Let's see. Physical book from the library. I put it down a lot, probably why I'm still on page 20. Did both. It got too ridiculous for me around 55. Agreed. I picked up in part 3. Yes, I also agree with that. Because there's like another question that's going to have more, more things involved with that. Okay. Let's see. What were your initial thoughts on the beginning of the book? Were you surprised to find out that there was another POV that we would be following along?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I started audiobooking it. And so then I was like, who are we talking about? Like, and then I like got home and I like got the book out and I was like, oh, it's like a name that like Bev is at the top of this chapter. And I was like, and I mean, for me, then I had to kind of like, I'm like, well, the dates are different. I'm like doing the math. I'm like, how much time is between 2022 and 1999? And how old would she be? And how old were like, once I figured out Bev had like Josh, once the like, but like at first it was like this David problem and this Bev problem. And it just threw me.
Yeah.
I liked it eventually. Like, I liked Bev's, some of Bev. Like, but anyway, continue. Whatever you can say, Jules.
No, I was just saying, I was super confused too, and then like got through it for I don't even know how long it took me to realize that that second POV, like Bev was part of the, and that connection together. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
I almost went back and started it over because I was confused.
Yeah, same. I was so confused. I was like, who is the second point of view? Why is she relevant? I was like, is this like another like mistress? Is this who's hanging out with Josh? And you know, then I started to realize the dates. I was like, oh wait, this is like in the past. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And why are we talking about why?
Yeah, like who is Beth? Why is she important? Why does she have more than one chapter? Like, what is happening? And I was like, oh, Beth is Josh's mother. So for those who DNF'd, it's Josh was the husband that went missing. So yeah. I honestly, because we had Bev's point of view like pretty early on, I was like, wait a minute. Like my first thoughts of the book were like, this is not what I signed up for in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just odd.
I mean, June's was because we knew we had a mystery of him going missing. And then we flipped to Bev and we're like, why are we just talking about chilling at the winery or at the vineyard? What are we doing?
Her marriage problems.
Right.
Like, jumped right into her marriage
relationship.
Like, what? I don't care.
Exactly. Brandon says, I was surprised by the second point of view. I did not know from the beginning that it was a mother. So surprisingly, it didn't throw me. Well, it threw me for 2 loops. So, and I think when I was reading reviews after finishing it, I was like, okay, I wasn't alone. So, okay. Would you say this book is more plot driven or character driven?
I think it was more character driven. I mean, the plot itself was just kind of messy. You know what I mean? Just kind of a whole mess. So I wasn't really a like solid plot of anything. It was just a lot of people to try and connect dots from one person to another, and like what's their relationship with this person and this person. And so I definitely think character.
Yes, I feel like the plot was there as the backbone for like the character's journey,
right?
Like to get them from point A to point B, and to give us the information that we needed to understand like the present. So
and I feel like because I'm so used to plot-driven thrillers, and then I think that's why I chose repetitive, because like I felt like we were just kind of repeating some of the same information over and over, but the plot wasn't getting there. And then I guess when my brain switched to like, this is character, not plot. There is no plot most of the time. That's why. Yes, Gwen. I guess we can add this question. Would you categorize this as a thriller?
No.
Same.
Not at all.
Yeah, like I feel like this is family drama with a little bit of a mystery.
With a suspense family drama kind of was there.
Yeah. So, my bad. I guess this is not a thriller book club, so
it's okay.
But like I will say, this one
though from the synopsis, it kind of sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Like when you read the synopsis, it definitely seems like it could be. So it was misleading. It's okay.
Yeah. Bad marketing, but like I will say it is different than what I normally have as far as thrillers. So there you go. I'm adding a little bit of spice or salt. Anyways, moving on. Okay. So let's talk about the setting. I know Angie loved the setting. So we first started off in Brooklyn, but I feel like it was mostly set in like Napa Valley. Was the setting something you found to be important, or was something that you can easily imagine while reading?
I could picture it. Like I definitely could envision the vineyards, and of course, you know, when she's sneaking out in the wire in the vineyards with I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. They're hiding in the grapevines. But like, you know, but I mean, I could envision it. I definitely could. I don't think it wouldn't make sense. All of Bev's POVs wouldn't make any sense if they weren't, you know, or even June's, you know, in some of the pine when she goes and finds, you know, the other vineyard. Like I can envision all of I don't think it would have been the same book if it hadn't been set around the vineyards, you know?
I agree. I feel like it added like to some of the like why, like the stakes of the family, like the family, this is their family business. This is everything they know. This is what's on the line with all this stuff kind of happening. And so it was like the setting was a crucial part of the plot.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I will say for me, I personally could not envision it I've been to a few wineries near me, and it just was not giving, like, my wineries out here do not give out Napa vibes. But I can only envision the wineries I've been to. So it's just like,
Mhm.
you
Yeah, I've
know.
been to we have a really big one. Like Herman it's a pretty big one. So like it's
Mhm.
like a big wine area. Like so when you see it, there are like big vineyards, you know.
Mhm.
There are very small ones around here, but I also been a couple around here. But like I just imagine that times like a bunch, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's what I was envisioning, especially like even just, you know, looking at the cover, you know what I mean? That's what you
cover
envision. Just,
Pretty.
you know, it's,
Mhm.
yeah, tons and tons of grapevines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really
Yes.
leans into the
Herman,
wine.
Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah, which helped it a lot. I feel like
Yes, I do.
pushed the story.
And like, I feel like a few people have mentioned, like, I learned a lot about wine.
Yeah. Yeah. I did like the little tidbits in the front of them where it was
Yeah.
talked about the processing
Yeah.
of it, the different stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
that was
liked that
interesting.
the different parts were separated as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really interesting. Okay, so let's talk about characters. We have June and Bev's POV. Was there one that you prefer over the other?
Yeah. Angie's like, yeah. I
Kind
will
of.
say, yeah, I will say for me, I I think I enjoyed Bev's chapters more about like the backstory of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like her necessarily and her relationships that she had going on. I enjoyed more of her backstory with her sons and like the mystery of
Mm-hmm.
the twins and what's going on with them. And like that was very enjoyable to me versus June's was just kind of, I'm going to go to this place and check out what's going on. Hers was just kind of more investigating like what's happening. So
Yeah.
it wasn't very exciting, but I was getting more. There was obviously more drama for your mama in Bev's chapters, but not some of the drama I don't like. But so
Yeah.
and I did not like her, but I did enjoy. I think her chapters better. Her
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked Bev's like journey better,
Yeah.
but I dislike cheating.
Yep,
Cheating group.
Mhm.
1000%.
It's very hard to know that going in, and so when that
Mhm.
started, I was like,
Yeah, because you have no. That's like a whole like just
that was
Yeah.
just
important.
sideswipes you. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
so
I'm
this
like, oh, like okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that about Bev. I did like the
hate it.
motherhood journey. I liked just that processing of like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
well, not all moms are very motherly, like, and just her inner
Mhm.
monologue on how she viewed motherhood was really interesting.
Mhm.
I liked that. June felt kind of flat. Like I
Yeah.
didn't understand
Mhm.
June's like motives. Like I felt like yeah, she was grieving, but she knew this guy for like 2 months, and it was 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
she's just dropping
Yeah.
everything and like endangering like her current relationship, which seemed very healthy and good. And so
Mhm.
I just didn't. She didn't add up to me, June.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She moved the plot. She moved the plot, but she didn't make sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like I preferred Bev's POV
Mhm.
just because, like, I don't know, maybe I was more invested in that versus I was like, oh yeah, like, good luck. I hope your husband's actually alive.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
good for you. But like, I don't know, kind of wanted Bev to like not only get away from her marriage because obviously her husband, which we'll get to in a little bit, like, anyways, I was invested in like her sons, like
Mhm.
what was going on there. And I mean, I didn't really care the fact that she also kind of cheated in her, I mean, she did cheat in her marriage, but like, it's one of those messy situations, but like, I don't know. I didn't really care for that, but like, I feel like for the story to be more character driven, I was more invested in Bev's story than I was in June's story.
There's just a lot going on in Bev's.
Yeah.
You
And the
know what I
mystery
mean?
was better in Bev's. Like we had the whole, was it Michelle? I forgot her name. The
Yeah.
like girl that, yeah, we had that going, which I thought was actually a
Mhm.
better mystery.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree.
We can talk about how that ended shortly,
Mhm.
but or not.
Let's see. Brandon said, I like Bev's POV better, to be honest. Was it messy? Absolutely. But I think it was an interesting story for someone going through motherhood and also finding herself. Faith preferred June's, but Bev's chapters were more steamy than I was expecting. Not in a bad way, but I didn't see it going the lesbian lover route. I didn't either.
No.
That is true from any book at Amy. Let's see. Every time June laminated she was married to Josh, I was like, come on, you knew him 6 months and you were married 2 days. It seems forced. Yeah. Agreed. Jordan said I didn't like Bev's chapters. I would rather read June, but was bored throughout. So I guess I didn't care for any of the characters. Yeah. Amy said, and her new fiance was like, oh, this again, and her BFF too. Like, you're going to ruin things with him to chase someone who died 10 years ago. I mean, that was sad, but like yeah, I agree. I feel like Angie said, it didn't add up. So
yeah.
How about the other characters? You've got Josh and Andrew. Was that the twin? The other twin? Okay, Andrew. You have Kyle, who's the current fiance, and then David. Any thoughts around those?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all sus. I thought Josh and Andrew were sus both because like just the way going through, like honestly, as you're reading their chapters, like from the mom's perspective, she's like, could either of my boys have done this? Which one? You know what I mean? With Michelle, they're like, I mean, how well do you know your sons? Like, and then just the fact of what Andrew did to pretend that he was Josh, you know, to go with Michelle, I was like, okay, you're a bad person. And, and the possibility that Josh lost his temper and did something, I was like, okay, they're both sus. Yeah. The dad is
horrible,
horrible person. I didn't like him. And then Kyle, like, who's the new guy that comes in and is just like, oh, you're still hung up on your possibly dead ex from 10 years ago? Cool. Like, no. What? I'm like, how is he so cool with this? I'm like, no. So like I was a little, and I wasn't surprised when it came out that he had a connection with it, because I was like, oh, you know, even though he said he didn't, I was like, I don't know, everybody was sus. I didn't like any of them.
Yeah. The male perspectives. I mean, I feel like I had the most like sympathy for the Andrew character, the one that was getting like blamed, like his brother was more manipulative and he was kind of being thrown under the bus. But then he did that thing in the barn and you're just like, And we were talking about this earlier, like twin stuff for me is like a big red flag too.
Yes.
It just is like, and we didn't know, it wasn't in the synopsis. You can't know that. Like, but I cannot read twin books. One, I have twin boys, identical twin boys. The thing is, they're very identical, but when they get to be high school, they're wanting their own haircuts, their own clothes, their own identities. There's no girlfriend on the planet who's going to be like, oh, you must be the one I'm thinking of, not his brother. It's just like, and then the double twin thing, and then the twin at the end of the book. And so anyway, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I get twin.
Yeah. Honestly, if I read a book synopsis and it's about twins, I'm like, nope. Like, I just feel like it's been so overdone. I don't like it as a plot twist.
It's not done well. You can't do it well.
Yeah, this was a huge part of this book.
Right. Thrillers. My twins, they do like to trick people. They will. Yeah. They're not like they try to trick people, and it's funny. But it's funny for 7-year-olds, not like
not grown men. Yeah. I hated David. The fact that Bev stayed with David so long and tried to make whatever work, I absolutely hated. Yes, even. Well, I wouldn't say the reveal was twins, but like, yes, there were twins in the book.
Yeah, that's not really I mean, it's a huge part of it, but and it was revealed early on,
right? Yeah. Maybe and I was just like, oh, it's twins. Of course it's twins. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a cop out when it comes to like twists. But like, So I think David was awful. And that's one thing I really hated about Bev, especially since she was also having like her own side relationship. I'm like, leave your husband. Like,
that was a huge thing for me. I'm like, what really annoyed me the most with that is that she was trying to justify her
Infidelity.
affair because her husband did one, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, one doesn't make that right, you know what I mean? Like,
Both
Yeah.
bad.
and so it was annoying me, and then I'm like, literally, like, she's still doing this, like, and even though we find out later that his wasn't just a one and done, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, obviously
Which-
it was longer, but so was her.
Matters.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter if he did it once and then
Once.
she's doing like a.
But then he was manipulative about it, which I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you even go further down. Like,
Yeah.
And her just
further.
thinking, which honestly, you know, people do stay in relationships for a lot of different reasons that
Mhm.
come into play. The vineyard and, you know, the
Your
family,
family
business and
livelihood.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people that not would I? No. but
Right.
that was frustrating. You
But
know,
also to drag it on for so
Yeah.
long, like, no, like you need to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So before finding out what really happened, what were your theories going into the book? Did you think Josh was alive? How did you think this was all connected? Like, what did you have before finding out any of the answers?
I didn't really have any theories. I don't go in. I typically don't go into books trying to like think about that. You know, at like one quick second, I was like, he's alive and he has
Mhm.
another family.
That's-
you know what I
yeah.
mean. That was what I was initial thought, and then I was like, okay, no, that's not it. And then I didn't even try and piece anything together after that. I was like, okay, that's not it.
I thought Bev killed somebody. I wasn't sure if it was going to be.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought she accidentally killed Michelle or something. Like, I
Yeah.
thought she was trying to cover up.
Mhm.
Like, she figured out one of her boys actually killed this girl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or did something, you know, and so I don't know. I also thought it was Michelle's dad for a while that killed the Josh guy, like went out to the beach and killed. That was one
Yeah.
thought I had for Michelle's, like
Mhm.
Michelle's dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Bev did something. I just wasn't quite clear on what I thought.
Yeah. Like Joel said, I also had the same theory. Like, I was like, Josh is alive because I didn't think there was a twin. Let me just make that clear.
Right.
Josh
Yeah.
is alive. He's been in hiding for something. Maybe he's been, maybe Bev was hiding his secret, or like, what was the secret? I don't know. Brandon said he thought June was seeing the younger brother and thought it was Josh, which honestly, I kept forgetting there was a third child. I was like, oh yeah, you have like a baby.
Poor forgotten baby.
Yeah.
My mama heart could not handle that.
I thought Bev killed Josh thinking she was saving June. Ooh, that's a good one.
What was the age difference on the baby? It was a lot, wasn't it?
The age difference? Yeah, he was like 9 months. And they were like,
and they were like teenagers. Yeah.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
dang. She waited a long time.
I for sure thought he was alive. Maybe he was trying to get back to her after regaining memory or something. That's a good one too. I think he was alive with a secret life. I also thought the secret life. I thought that Josh was alive, but in his incident at the beginning was an accidental pregnancy, and Josh was with that family now. Ooh, that's good. And then I thought Amber was Andrew's wife, and Andrew was actually Josh, and they killed Josh for revenge on Amber. And Andrew took, wow, this is a lot. And Andrew took Josh's identity. I also thought when the
twin thing came in, I was like, oh, it's not really Josh that disappeared. I was like, not. I was like, this is the wrong husband.
Don't worry, that was the end. Somebody taking somebody. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how Gwen knew there was a twin, but that's shocking.
She's just smart.
Yes. I did think maybe Josh killed Andrew and assumed his life was Sadie, because at the same time the story went off the rails so much for me, I figured, hey, maybe.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Have a late in life baby.
Okay. If you were June and you lost your husband, and now 10 years later you think you see him, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be different if it was like somebody I'd been with forever and had like this strong relationship connection with, and then they just were like, not like, if something happened to my husband and like there was nobody to say, here's his body, he died, I would be like, I would be hung up on that for a while, right? He's been my husband forever. And then if I thought I saw him, yeah, I'd probably go to the ends of the earth to be like, hey, what happened? Well, you know, but I don't know. I feel like at that point, with it being such, like everybody said, just like a short relationship, it's like having a boyfriend at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, or like move on, never see him again. I don't know. I think maybe if she'd done a little bit of tracking down, but like she went in, you know,
Yeah.
a big old rabbit hole
All
trying to find him.
Obsessive mode.
Yeah. And it'd be different if she didn't have a current fiance that loves her or that she loved him. You know what I mean? Like she was so wrapped up in this. And like there was this super cringe moment. I don't know if anybody else cringed when they were having relations and she's thinking about her possible dead husband.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I was like, this I was like, this is not good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah.
Same. I mean, like I said before, I think it's the weakest part of the book is the June's motives. That I don't think she would have. I don't think anybody would have. But it was like kind of the central part of the plot.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like for it to be the main plot that's printed actually on the book, it definitely lacked in that area. But I feel like for me, like I definitely would be doing like some Facebook, internet stalking, like who are you? Like I don't know if I would, like, especially if it's been 10 years and I'm engaged to be married. Like I feel like if I've had another serious relationship or I'm about to get married, I feel like I would have that open communication with my partner to where like, hey, I keep seeing my, my husband that died 10 years ago. I keep seeing him like, and I can't just get this past. And I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. She snuck behind his back and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like she didn't. Yeah. And then like for her, like how much does she really trust him if she can't like open up to him about it? You know what I mean? And
exactly. And that is a reason why I thought Kyle had something to do with it.
Yeah.
So
I didn't give a single thought to Kyle. Like,
and she did for a hot second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Amy said, I wouldn't creep into strangers' house thousands of miles from home and snoop on his computer. Yeah. I hope not. The problem for me was if Josh faked his death, would he get away with renaming the winery and changing his name and running it in a small town and assume no one would figure it out? Yeah, I also thought that too.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just so obsessed because there was no closure. But even still, why go get engaged if you can't stop thinking? I agree. Agree. Talk it out like an adult, Jesse. Where's the drama in that? It's in Bev's point of view. That's where the drama is.
Yeah.
Lots of good drama.
All right, Jules. For anyone who did not read the book or finish and is still here, what happened? Spill the tea.
Okay. So June ends up going down her investigating. She finds Josh has a twin because she sees it online. There's a picture of who she thinks is her husband with another person at a winery. She swears it's him. She travels to this winery, finds out that he has a twin brother, Andrew. Andrew has a family. So there's a wife, kid, and Kyle also, she finds out that Kyle had, tell me what to say, I'm so lost. Kyle, her current fiance, finds out that he did know Michelle. Anyone who doesn't know Michelle's dead. We don't know why she's dead. We don't know what happened to her really still. But so Josh and Andrew had a kind of drama relationship between Michelle. There was some issues with that. Michelle's dead. Maybe they did or didn't do something, one or the other, or both. We don't know. And it turns out that Michelle and Kyle went to tennis camp together. So she finds that out. So then she thinks that Kyle pursued her because, he did something to Josh. So she thinks he did something to Josh for a while. Turns out he didn't. He was somewhere else when that happened. But Andrew also did think someone killed the husband. Well, his brother, because the text, if anyone doesn't know, she got a text from him and it had a heart emoji in it and he never sent heart emojis. So she was like, he's for sure was murdered by somebody. Like, and so Andrew also thought something happened to him. And long story short, Andrew was secretly texting with his brother because they had like a falling out and had not seen each other for many, many, many years. This whole thing with Michelle broke their relationship up. And so Andrew and Josh were texting about a meetup. Josh reached out to him and was like, hey, we're family. We need to meet up. And Andrew's wife thought he was cheating. There's a lot of cheating in this book, y'all. Everybody thinks everybody's cheating. So Andrew's wife saw him being all distracted on his phone. She's like, he's cheating. He's stepping out. And so she saw his phone when he wasn't in it. She snooped. And there was a text from somebody, obviously it wasn't labeled by who it was, that they planned this meeting for like this next morning. And so she replied back off of it and was like, let's meet earlier. And, my wife's getting suspicious. Don't text anything else, because she was going to go confront the girl. So she erased all that. So her husband wouldn't see it. So she shows up to meet the girl and she sees who she thinks is her husband. It's not her husband. It's Josh. So she thinks it's still her husband. She's mad. Like, well, how'd you get here before me? What are you doing? And she shoves him and bro falls off a cliff and dies. She's freaking out thinking she just killed her husband. So she goes down and pulls out his wallet and was like, this is not his wallet. This is not his phone. And then realizes that opened the phone and saw a picture of him, obviously Josh, with somebody else. The license is different. And then she went and looked at his phone and saw his whole text thread and realized that she just killed his brother, her husband's brother. So she decides that she's going to float the body out in the water. But she also, in the meantime, sees the text from the wife saying, where are you at? Which is June, saying, where are you at? I'm hungry, And so then she replies with the text and out his body goes. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Kills him.
Yeah. Neither wife knows they married a twin. Like,
apparently not. Well, because
they were estranged.
They were estranged, so they didn't even mention that. You know what I mean? If you have a family member that you don't ever want to talk about or want anything to do with, that you're just like. And honestly, y'all, that does happen, because my husband's older sister, he never talks about her. Nobody, a lot of people don't know he has an older sister, because he's like me, cut off. So it does happen. Yeah. It does happen. Yeah.
It's weird for it to not be a thriller, and I feel like the very last chapter to have such a thriller ending.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, this would have been great. Like,
I love the ending.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. Yeah.
But why didn't we find out what happened to Michelle and who done it? Well, that is a great question. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay, what was everyone's thoughts? I mean, I personally love the ending. I
like a good shock factor.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like with like Bev getting like a little bit of a happily ever after kind of, and then like June kind of getting a happily ever after, I was like, oh, pooey. And then like you get Sadie's last chapter. Yeah. So I didn't like the ending, but like Sadie's chapter saved the ending, if that makes sense for me. But what did y'all think?
Yeah, I don't know. Bev's ending to me, like I would have liked it. I would have liked it to have gone differently, because for me, like, nowhere in my right mind would I ever up and leave my kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for me, like even if she was a twin and the kid didn't recognize, was she a twin? Did we determine that?
I don't think she was. I think they just looked alike.
So
I thought they were twins. I
don't know if they were. I think.
No, see, I didn't know. But
I don't know if they ever said that or not.
But then, sorry, I'll let you continue in a second. No, how then? All right, there's joint custody. He said child who's 1 year old with the dad.
Yeah.
And now the pretend mom, sister, lady. They have to do, like, they have to switch kids. Like, so that's why I thought she had to be somewhat identical. And also she knew, like, this David guy knew the sister. She lived with them, like, for months and months and months.
Yeah, so you would think he would know that was her.
Switcheroo. How is it?
I don't believe it.
I don't believe
I don't believe the switcheroo. I think there had to have been I think there could have been a different way that whatever her name was. What was her name? Amelia. If Amelia came back,
That's what I thought. The new lover lady.
She could have come back and they could have started a relationship and she could have, I mean, but it just was far fetched for me.
Yeah.
That part, that pretty much killed it. Then I was over it. I don't even care.
And I mean, hopefully June and Kyle get through their issues.
That part I liked. I was like, oh, they can be happy. Everybody else is kind of crap. Like
no more secrets. Yeah, move on.
Yeah. Again, I feel like
he's got issues with his wife.
I feel like
Sadie.
the twins just ruins everything.
Yeah,
but that was the main focal point a lot. So, okay. Was there anything you wish could have been like added? Like any clarification of things?
Yeah. What happened to Michelle?
Yeah.
Michelle.
What happened to Michelle?
That's what we needed to know this. Like, because there could be multiple possibilities. I mean, it said her death was reported that she was just drunk, slipped, fell,
hit her head.
That could have been what really happened. It very well could have, but we need to know that. I need clarification.
Yeah.
Did Josh do something to her? Did Andrew? Because we don't know with the twins, they could have been very well, you know what I mean? And then when they find the body, Andrew's there with it and they're just all keeping secrets. Like something happened. Something happened. And there's a puka shell, the whole puka shell necklace thing. Like somebody, and she didn't know who. That's what I'm saying. It could have been Andrew's. It could have been Josh's. And especially that whole blaming the other twin for other things. They very well could have blamed each other for it. Nobody's gonna know, you know what I mean? Like, but what happened to Michelle? I need clarification.
Oh yeah, who actually shared the photo of Abby too?
Who's Abby?
She was the first girl that like the nude photos.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. I don't know.
No twins. No more twins.
Yeah. I know. I feel like Josh probably did share that out of anger because the vibe I was getting was that Josh could be sweet, but he also had a mean side.
Very possessive.
And then I think he blamed Andrew for it. And then that's
why
I do believe that story that he said he didn't do it. I do think that, but
I don't think Andrew did it because I think out of the two boys, he cared the most for Michelle. Personally. Yeah. But also, what was Michelle going to ask Bev before she died?
I know.
I'm like, I don't know.
What?
Like, and Bev was going to tell Michelle that about the boys switching. I think if she didn't know about it, I think she was going to tell her about it.
That's what I was thinking too.
But then the husband came out and said, "I'd be like, hang on, we got to have a girl talk. Go away." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but Bev wasn't that character.
No, she wasn't. No. She wasn't. But yeah, I mean, what Andrew did to get with Michelle, that was awful.
To get back at his brother.
Yes, that was awful. Yeah. But yeah, oof.
That was awful.
And I don't think he ever found out, right? Because I don't think he'd be asking to meet up with.
Because Michelle died like that night or something, right?
Yeah.
Like the next night.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, she would die the night that we're supposed to get all the answers.
Yeah.
Inconvenience for her.
Okay. What strengths do you think this book had, and what weaknesses do you think it had? Like, what would you say the strengths and weaknesses were?
The weakness for me was the infidelity. So much infidelity. I just didn't. It just fell flat for me. That's a book like instantly. Just the way that all played out, like that just drops my rating down for that anyway. So that was definitely a weakness for me. Not for everybody. It doesn't bother some people, but I think my strength was the transitions between the POVs and the timeline that actually, because typically like if they'd had Bev in 1999 and Bev in whatever, that would have confused the heck out of me. But since her POV stayed in its lane, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to that, I know we're going back here. And then, so I think the transition of the timelines was a good strength for me in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, weaknesses, like I said, I don't like cheating tropes. I don't like twin tropes. I mean, those two things
Yeah.
brought it down quite a bit for me. I feel like I do like suspense. I like kind of that, like, what's happening, like that kind of foreshadowing of, like, I liked at the very beginning when they were talking about Josh, like the parents, and they're like, oh, what happened last year? We're not going to talk. You know, it's like it did a lot of like that kind of dropping. And you're like, what happened last year?
Yeah, I want to know what happened. What
I
happened?
know. And so I like that kind of stuff. So I like the suspense, and I like this family drama, but it wasn't, yeah, the other two over, like the cheating and the twins thing just ruined it.
So like, I know y'all don't like the infidelity. That doesn't affect me when it comes to my reading. I think the weaknesses was definitely like, you know, I was expecting to follow June's story, but yet I could care less if she found Josh.
Right.
And definitely the twins. Like, I hate twins. Honestly, if they were just brothers, I feel like that could have been great. But like the whole like switcheroo and like no one knowing that there were twins involved, that really no. Strengths, I definitely liked Bev's journey and like the whole like family dynamic. I mean, not dynamic, but like the story of like everything that the family went through prior to Josh drowning, dying, and then June's story coming involved. So yeah. So let's see, we've already answered that question. Okay, if you could change only one thing in the book to make it better, what would you change and why?
The reveal of what happened to Michelle, because I don't like an unanswered
You know
question.
what? Same.
Twins.
I mean, seriously,
I would take out the
I am
twins.
salty about that.
I'm less salty about that. I just can't handle the twins. It's like find another way to tell the same story. There's got to be another way to tell that story without having to like have that crutch.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I did not catch the Michelle unsolved murder, or was it murder? And then Gwen asked me, she's like, I'm glad you finished the book. Who killed Michelle? And I was like, wait a minute. Who did kill Michelle?
Or did anyone kill Michelle? We don't know. Yeah. Michelle's dead, but we don't know.
Yeah. So I feel like if Gwen had not asked me, I would have been like, eh. So yeah, I definitely just feel like I kind of wish we did know what happened to Michelle, in a sense of like we knew more about the twins in a way. I don't know.
I mean, and honestly, like, even if I would have been happy if they had been like revealed that they found out that Josh did kill her, because he's dead. He got his comeuppance. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, that would have been, at least I've been like, oh, well, justice for Michelle, because you know, he's dead too. But
I feel like Michelle was written so much into the story that I was invested in her, and then not know what happened to her.
Yeah. If it had just been a quick thing at the beginning that it was talked about and whatever, but she was in it, talked about so much. Like, she was in it so much that it's like, and then to not give us that answer.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Give it.
He's so funny. Okay. So now that we've finished, do you plan on picking up anything else by the author? I know she writes some YA as well. I did not know that about her until we interviewed her, but do you plan on picking up anything else by her, like in the future or any of her backlist?
I might, depending on what the premise is. And if it feels like a more, I think if she does write thrillers, if it's actually a thriller, I would probably, I don't know if I would pick up another like family drama from her, like, because it was just kind of an average. If it's similar to this average, I don't know. Maybe
I would pick up something from her in the future. I think it's fun doing the author interviews, because I feel like you just kind of get a like glimpse into her world, and you're like, that sounds so fun. And then it's like, I want to hear what else comes out of that process. Or
I did enjoy that with her.
Even though like this wasn't a hit for me,
it doesn't mean another book wouldn't be, or isn't.
And that's kind of how I feel. This wasn't like a terrible book.
Yeah. But and let's be honest, I've read some terrible books from authors and still tried other books. And then usually if I get 2 or 3 and they're all awful, then I know,
Then I'll give
okay,
it up.
I don't want to read from this author.
right.
So, I mean, it's not a one and done for me. Like, I will
Yeah.
definitely, consider picking. If it sounds interesting, I will pick it up.
Yeah. Thanks, Laura. I say I will pick up something else by her, like in the future, but I also think, kind of like when I first read Sally Hepworth, like to know it's not like a true thriller. Like I think I kind of know that going forward, that like don't expect like a Frida McFadden page turning type of thriller, but to read more of like a family suspense drama
I do
versus
like
a thriller. So
she's one of my faves.
who
Yeah,
is it?
Sally Hepworth is one of my favorites.
Oh yes. I feel like she's writing more
Yeah.
thrillery, but like when I first read her, it was The Good Sister, and there was like no thriller.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Barely any mystery, but I loved it. It was a 5-star.
It was a great book. Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, do you have any book recommendations based on this book? Like if you liked this book, you should read this, or if you did not like this book, you should read this.
I don't have any.
The Good Sister. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I brought because I think of family drama. I think of Sally Hepworth, and I think of Leanne Moriarty.
Okay.
Also, which is kind of like not as thrillery, more drama, family, literary kind of thriller. I guess.
Yeah.
So those two authors kind of made me think of those two authors.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny that's funny that Jess mentioned that. And then
I know. I was like, oh,
you're like, oh, speaking of.
Perfect. What do you think, Jules?
I don't have any. Like, I haven't read anything similar to this. So, like, nothing off the top of my head. You know what I mean? Like, comes to mind because I don't know. I mean, besides, like, the books being in, like, if you like the books being in different parts, like you said, like the last one at the wedding, having the different parts, that's really the only thing, similarities that I could think of. Like, because I did enjoy that, it being in different parts and like labeled based on like the wine, but yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I'm trying to just make sure I don't forget anything, but I was going to say The Good Sister, obviously. I would also say like maybe some Jodi Picoult, just like more of that like emotional, way more hard-hitting topics, and less thriller. I think you would like that. I also feel like if you liked, I shouldn't say like, but if you like the teenage like romance, even though it was barely there, I think you would like The Pact by Jodi Picoult, because I love that book, but it's so hard to read. So those would be my picks. I agree with Leanne Moriarty. What Alice Forgot is one of my faves by her. Enjoy The Good Sister. Nice. Well, thank you guys so much for being my co-host this month. I'm sorry it was just a meh book, but I'm glad we all. Oh yeah, what was your final star rating?
Like, we didn't do our star ratings.
Yeah, let's do our final star rating.
I gave it a 3.
I also gave it a 3, but I almost DNF'd it. If I wouldn't have been for this, there was a moment. It was like all in that like deep into the cheating chapters where she's like thinking about this lady and this lady's coming around, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I could just be done. I'm glad I finished it out. It actually like redeemed itself a bit. So, but so it ends up at a 3, a low 3 for me.
Yeah,
definitely.
I am also giving it a 3-star. I feel like this was a 2, like a good solid 2-star, but obviously I have to finish it for my book club. But then right around part 3, that's when I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this story a lot more, but not enough to go past a 3. So I think it's a good solid 3 for me. So
yeah, I agree. The first, based off of the first half of anything previous to part 3 in the book, it was definitely like a 2, 1-star, maybe not, like you said, contemplating not finishing it, but yeah, definitely after that it picked up. It had the whole book been similar to that last half, it probably could have, been a 4-star book. It just was not. That first part was just, it was too slow for me.
Yeah.
And boring.
Oh, also, I feel like this book kind of gave a little bit of Gone Girl vibes in a way. if Gone Girl kind of had twins involved.
I'm glad Gone Girl didn't have twins.
Oh my gosh, no. I would DNF to that if I found that out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being my co-host. Thank you for also, interviewing the author with me. That was so much fun. If you guys have not watched it already, we do have the author interview with Lori Elizabeth Flynn. We got to chat with her Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday of last week. So we got to get to know her a little bit more. I got to talk more about this book. It's definitely interesting. It is available over on my Patreon for you guys to watch as well. So yeah. Before we end, I'm going to let you guys know information for next month. So next month we are reading Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. A little short on the fly synopsis is about a woman who has a not true crime. She just has a podcast where she gets to have people anonymously, I can't say that word, anonymously like confess things that they have done, whether it's crimes or, it's all anonymous. And one of her guests comes on the show and admits that he's the murderer of her mother. But she knows that's not true because she's the one that killed her mom's murderer. So, like, what's really happening? So, podcast thriller, anyone? So, I'm very excited. That book actually gets published tomorrow. I've already pre-ordered the book. So once I get my copy, I will be updating Discord. But again, Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. My guest will be Brandon from Brand the Reader. And then also Elise from Literally Elise, both on Instagram and YouTube. And the book discussion is February 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
it sounds good.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry about the technical issues about the comments, but I just was not going to keep struggling. So, but we will end the night. Make sure you guys check out both Jules and
that was he's like bye.
Oh my gosh, that scared me. Make sure you go check out Jules and Angie's channels. I do have them linked in the description box. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
And it won't let me end the stream. Okay, bye.